Let the Hustlers Play sell a lot more then, now that you had a video?
Let the Hustlers Play. I don't know if I've ever gotten official numbers. I mean, somewhere probably around 300,000 records or so, from what I understand. And that was really What's My Name did. But when we were reaching more people, obviously, and then you got the video going on. Obviously, there's more groups coming out now. People got videos, and but it's just all about what the public likes. But we had an audience, you know what I mean? And to answer your question, I think so. I think, we touched our audience and then some. But What's My Name didn't have one, but it is what it is, Let the Hustlers Play, I think, was a good step in the right direction.
Yeah. And do you remember why they wanted to do a remix from the Serious album version to the video version to make them different?
It was a new thing coming out, the whole remix thing. Actually, KRS-One was like one of the first ones I had ever heard doing it. I know that R. Kelly was doing that. But he's R&B, but he was doing a lot of remixing. But in hip hop, KRS was like, we're gonna do a remix. And Jive actually came up with the idea. They came up with the idea of the remix. They was like, all right, let's do a remix for it. We were like, remix, huh? Man, he called us back up to New York to hear that remix. We were like blown away. He was blown away. He was like, God, he outdid himself. Like, this is nuts. This dude is off the hook. He's got that energy. He's in the studio. He's just like, wait till you hear this. He put that tape on. We were sitting there like, I heard that cartoon stuff in it. I was just like, this dude is so friggin' creative. He's just so creative. He took chances, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's all that, man. That boy was dope as hell, man. He's still dope as hell.
Absolutely. Very underrated producer, as you're mentioning as well.
Yeah, I mean, I used to rock off that jump. Dun 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 jump. Dun 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 dun. Him and Just Ice. Miss said Just Ice. That what man, Chris is dope. That boy's fire, man.
Absolutely.
He's hip hop, like he says, I am hip hop, man. You right. And he could just spew it on you, So for that remix, because actually Miss Melody was in the studio, and she was like, "You putting that in there? That ragtime stuff?" She was like, "I don't know about that." And he just looked over like, "Yeah, right. Watch this. Put that joint in there, man. That joint was fire, man." Chris is dope, man.
Yeah.
Dope producer. I don't know why he don't continue to produce, because he's nasty with it.
Absolutely. Now in '89, we get to Going Steady and I Gotta Have It. So with those two albums coming out both in '89, focusing on a Cool C first, as he was rising and Glamorous Life was really taking off, his
Mhm.
his style, how at the time, how did you kind of differentiate Cool C's style, lyrics, and what you were trying to do, writing, producing, DJing wise, versus Steady B?
So they definitely were a lot different. So Stead was more hardcore. He's more on the beat. I'm this, I'm that. Blah, 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 blah. You a sucker MC, this, that, and the third. Cool was more like his name. He was real smooth with it, real cool. So he just had that different Cool C. I'm not here to play. He was on that different vibe, and he was really trying to, I would say, kind of get away from the Shan thing, because he really wasn't trying to, imitate Shan or whatever the case. But that was just his thing, and it just kind of developed into his own thing. And after a while, I guess he sounded like Shan. I guess probably on purpose or what have you. But he was different than Boo Steady. He was different than him as far as that goes, and he just like, we knew that we could take him somewhere different. You know what I mean? So like do different things with him. Like, for instance, that up-tempo Glamorous Life record. That was an idea that the manager came up with. He kind of came up with the idea of the record, and he was like, yo, girls will be into that. He was like, if you talked about Gucci, Fendi, Louis Vuitton, that kind of stuff, that stuff was real popular, this, that, and the third. So again, concept record. So we just was like, I thought it was a little cheesy because I didn't know what it was going to sound like. But knowing us, we would come out with something fly. I knew we would come out with something solid. You know what I mean? If we're in that studio, all of us are in there talking, making the tracks, and you making it tight from the gate, undeniable. So we got in there and made a tight ass track, and it was just like, whoa, I need that snare. That's that. Boom, boom. It was popping, and it was like magic, man. It was no real trials or nothing. We just, from the start, it just went boom, 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 boom. It just took off. And then you walk out the room for a little while and be like, God, we just made that? Like, where is this coming from? There was no 4 days, 5 days trying to figure it out, make a beat, scrap it, make up this rhyme, scrap it. From start to finish, we just did it. Boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, it was, ooh, ooh, you got it. It was just, everything just went together because we did the ooh, ooh thing too anyway. That was Juice Crew. So management was like, steal it, take it. Because that was their call, that was their thing. So it's kind of like, diffusing them in a sense. So it was like, all right, man, you really got it out for them. We don't, we love them, but we was gang, we just went along with what was going on.
Yeah. Well, sonically and tempo wise, Glamorous Life also on I Gotta Have It is very much off in its own. It doesn't really fit kind of sonically, I think, with a lot of the rest of the album, or really much of the rest of the album. So why did you guys not do one or two more like that, or why didn't you change more of the album to fit that? Why was it so different?
We were kind of just going with the flow, just different vibes. Like for instance, the Gotta Have It record, that was basically Average White Band. We just took a little bit of their vibe off of that record. Just a lot of sampling going on, obviously, and just wanted to make it funky, wanted to make it real like a funky record. So we really wasn't trying to make like the same record over twice. Like Glamorous Life, it was Glamorous Life. That was the up-tempo dance record, and that had its place. It had its space. Same with Gotta Have It. So, because he had this rhyme, I gotta have it. So he was like, all right, gotta have it. All right, that's cool. I think he came up with it after we made the beat. So me and Boo got down and we started putting that was one of the first records that we ever had, like vocals in a record, because I thought that was real funky too.
Hmm.
So, the guy was, it's like have like another person's voice on there. And it had all kinds of different little I haven't heard that record in forever, but I remember it like it was today. But it was just fire, man. We just coming together like, on some musicianship type deal, So
Okay.
we really didn't want to make any record similar to any other ones. It wasn't like, all right, we're gonna make a record be like this. Nah, it was just like, all right, let's just make songs and pick which ones we're gonna put on the album. That's really what you did in that time. If you made a grip of songs, you might make 15, 20 songs. But it just so happens that everyone we made went on the album because we just liked them. We put that much into them, It was like a lot of dedication. We always was in the studio like every single day. So,
Well, that being
yeah.
said, too, Cool C was on Atlantic Records, unlike Steady B, who was on Jive, and you got a video right out the gate for Glamorous Life. So, what business-wise did you notice? Was anything different being at Atlantic with Cool C than Jive with Steady B? Was it the same? Was it different? What did you experience?
So you're talking about a major and an independent. So Atlantic, that's the big three right there. WEA. So Warner Electric, Atlantic, and they're huge. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, all right, big budget, bam. Whereas Jive, you ain't getting that big of a budget. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a smaller, entity. So with Atlantic, it was like prerequisite to have a video and street promotions, and you know what I mean. That was just what they did, to make the record pop. Poster bills and whatnot. That was just prerequisite. you know. So a video out the gate, you're touching a good point here, because you know, Steady and I, we put him on, and he comes out, first record he gets a video. We like, what? So it was a little bit like, hold the frick up here, like, damn, like we've been how many albums in and how many videos we got? So it's a whole different animal when you're dealing with a major label, though, you know,
Right.
whole different animal.
Well, speaking to that point, though, one of the amazing things about the Going Steady album was that was 4 albums in 4 years, which really was pretty much not totally unprecedented, but more or less unprecedented in rap at the time, especially since you weren't like Run-DMC going double, triple platinum, or Houdini going platinum, or LL at the
Hmm.
time, to not even have a gold album and to put out 4 albums in 4 years. I was always like blown away. Like, man, these dudes are putting in work. So,
Yeah, but that was the goal. That gold record was we were aiming at it. We were really like, we got to get this gold record. That was the goal.
okay. So, and that was because Going Steady is so different from the first 3 albums. The first three, I think, you kind of, even though of course you grow and develop and evolve as an artist, but Going Steady was much more about women, much more about just females, period. Um,
Mhm.
so, what was the creative reasoning for that going in that direction for the Going Steady album?
So it was again concept, instead of, you know, this MC, I'll do this to you, all that stuff. I'm the nicest. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Said all that already. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can repeat it, cool, but it kind of gets redundant at some point. So you got to grow creatively, and that was really where we were. Again, sitting around talking, make up a beat, and normally the lyrics are inspired by the track. So you make the track, sitting around listening and just vibing out to it. And you're like, wow, what does this sound like? And then somebody throws an idea out. Boom. Yo, this is some cool out right here. You know, it's real smooth and chill. So I'm like, what does this sound like? All right, cool. It sounds like some, you know, like some chick type situation, you know, like you and your girl or whatever. That's kind of what it reminds me of. And then that's when, you know, the ideas are coming. Our dancers are there, you know, I'm there, cool is there, and you know, the managers there, and people are throwing ideas out. And next thing you know, it turns into Going Steady, you know. And what ended up happening is Boob wasn't really like Mr. Lover Man, you know, that wasn't like his vibe. So he was like, you know, I'm on some, you know what I'm saying? Get in my face, you get knocked out. Da, 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 da. You know, he went with the rhymes and stuff. You know, swoop at the tongue, dot, 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 dot. You know, that was his thing. So he wasn't on that silky smooth, you know, he wasn't on that business. So again, chameleon, I'm able to just, all right, let me just, you know, move into that space. So I sat down, listened to it. He wrote a verse, and he was like, "Yo, man, I'm having writer's block, man." And then you young, you know, how many romantic experiences you gonna have 17 years old or whatever? You know, it's not gonna be but so many. Um, you haven't done a lot at that time. So he was trying to figure it out. I said, all right, you having writer's block? All right, cool, let me help you out. So when I wrote my verse, which was supposed to be his verse, I wrote it for him. And then E Marbles, our dancer, he wrote a verse because he was inspired. And you know, the track was just infectious. We was like, all right, we're gonna rock out to this. So then I'm reading him the rhyme. I gave it to him, and he's like, taking long walks in the park. Oh man, you say it. Come on. And he just threw it at me, and I was just like, all right, I'll go in the booth, say it, whatever, whatever, whatever. And that turned into, damn, you sound dope as shit doing that. Like, you should say it. That was his exact words. So that was him all day. You sound dope as shit.
And then what about, was the same thing with E Marbles?
It was the exact same thing. The exact same situation. He said, you know, we all crew. So he was just like, yo, check my rhyme out. I said my rhyme, check my rhyme out. it was like, damn, hold up. This is evolution. It's not just Steady B because y'all a crew. So, all right, something different yet again. Boom. Put all of them on there. And then JoJo will be in the middle, the other dancer. He's in the middle, like, narrating. Yeah, that was cool, Steady B. Yeah, Tap Money. Yeah. All right, he got something to say. He's all in the middle. So it was all four of us on the record, which was dope because all four of us are on the shows.
Thick and thin dancers.
So that was the whole. Sorry, say again.
Thick and thin dancers. There you go.
Yes, sir. That was the concept. Again, concept.
Okay.
So
now
nothing just.
I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nothing just off the cuff. It all had a meaning. It had some kind of foundation.
Be sure to check out the History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
There will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the streets. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.